that they follow a pathway. All right? They are going to have what your textbook refers to as a projection pathway, meaning their pathway, their movement to the areas of the brain that will deal with these sensations. For taste, it goes to the medulla oblongata, then to the thalamus. Does everybody remember the thalamus? How did we refer to it? Our relay station, and it will send it to an area of the brain called the gustatory cortex. Just a brief review. What do I mean when I say cortex? That outer gray portion of the brain. So we have an area in the insula and in that lateral sulcus of the cerebrum that will pick up the gustatory sensation. And we get our taste.
What role does that basal cell play?
Now, when we begin to look at these other cells that are present, like the ones that are here in blue, those are support cells. Because remember, anytime we talk about a nerve cell, in this case, the ones that are the pink, the taste cell, they always have to have support cells. So the blue is our support cell. What does a support cell do for our nerve cells? Anybody remember? They're also known as like glial cells, for example, in the brain. Support cells always support that nerve cell. They help it with how it functions because these are cells that can be replaced. We can give rise to more. They're trying to show that with the basal cell, because these do get replaced. Eating. The next one, olfaction. Anytime you hear that term, that means smell. And what we respond to are called odorants. Do you happen to know about how many the human nose detects? 200. We detect a little over 4,000 different types of smells. What about a dog? Does anybody know?
6,000.
Over 10. Yeah. Odorants. Does that bring to mind anything? Deodorants. To de-odor the odor. That's what I always think about. So, the odorants have to get dissolved in mucosa. If you remember from part 1, any area of the body that is open to the exterior environment, is lined by mucosa. So that gives us a medium, and all the stuff that's around us, odorants, are actually molecules in the air. And they will reach us or be detected by us by dissolving in the mucosa. For olfaction, the sense of smell, this is the only special sense that synapses directly to the brain. It does not pass through the thalamus. With olfaction, the sense of smell, this is the only special sense that synapses directly to the brain tissue. It does not pass by way of the thalamus.
Any reason why that is?
Yes, smell is so important to I was going to say probably the most, but as I think about the other special senses we have, I can't really say that. Brian?
Also, like when you're a baby and you're first born, that's like your first sense that's really developed, like as well. I mean, you base a lot of like your mother's smell and food and things like that. And you can't really see
Because you can't really
taste
see.
as well, and so your nose really is probably the most important sense. And it's like for other animals, like a deer, if I'm deer hunting and a deer hears me or sees me, I can kind of like hang out and maybe it'll kind of disregard it. But if it smells me,
But if it smells you, it's gone.
it's gone. And it's like, that's the most basic, I don't know, I feel like for me, like if you smell, if you could look at milk and it could look good, you could touch it, it could feel good and all the other senses, but if you smell it, it smells bad, you're not drinking it.
And that is exactly what's happening here, okay? When we talk about the special senses, you got to remember that these are senses that were present in early man that were very well developed, because you got to remember that this higher order thinking in man over the geological time scale, that didn't happen in the beginning. That is something that evolved. And so these other senses are how they survived. And sense of smell is very important. But so is sense of hearing, sense of sight, sense of taste. I was thinking when you originally asked the question that this would be probably the most important, but it's not. Okay? I could say sight is the most important, but it's not. I could say hearing is the most important, but it's not. I could say the same thing about taste. It required all of them together for man over the geological time scale to survive. Because think about areas of the brain, just these two senses that we have looked at. The first one, where did it pass to first? The medulla oblongata. The medulla is what part of the brain? Brain stem, and the brain stem is primitive. That is dealing only with basic instinct survival. Now, smell right here at the base of the cerebrum with a direct synapse. doesn't go through the thalamus. Okay? All of them are going to be involved in basic survival instincts, which is kind of cool if you think about it. When we look at the what we have, okay, the olfactory hairs, all right? Some like to think that's an actual hair. No. Okay? We're talking about something that's attached to the nerve cell. Even though it may seem like the real hair, they let them just continue to grow down, okay? Okay? So these are important, all right? And have y'all ever known people who would like yank them out? Don't. Yeah. I have actually heard of people who go and let, like people who do waxing, roll a piece of the hot wax and stick it up there. And then, all right? No, don't do that. Okay? Simply snip. Snip. Get you the little thing, right, and you good. Okay? Just say. Now, these hairs are actually cilia off of the cells themselves. Okay? Do you guys remember cilia and the projections for them off of cells? Okay? They have binding sites for the molecules, the odorants that we get exposed to. Their axons form the fascicles. What's a fascicle? The fiber grouped together with more of my cranial nerve. One, don't yank them out. Don't do it, okay? They're actually having a connection to a nerve, to your cranial nerve, the olfactory, okay? This is my second nerve cell that gets replaced. Because yes, they do get a lot of exposure. Think about the smells you are exposed to on a daily basis. All right? The pathway that we're going to get those fibers enter the olfactory bulbs. Do you guys remember anytime we flipped that brain upside down? That was the two great big huge bulbs right there at the base. Does everybody remember seeing that? Okay. They're going to synapse on dendrites of what is termed mitral and tufted cells. What we're seeing here, this is going to meet in what we call a glomeruli. Now, this term, I wish they would find a different meaning because it's representative of a term that we're going to come across again. When we talk about a glomeruli, let that bring to mind a round object where things get to be squiggly on the inside. So I'm going to find that these